Yesterday was a big day because Terry McLaurin reported. It's the first time we have seen Terry in any capacity since the month of May. I would love it, love nothing more, Max, than if by the end of the show, Terry McLaurin is signed. I don't anticipate that is going to happen, but I would love it if it does.
I've been predicting, ever since I left for vacation, I was expecting it to happen while I was gone. I was expecting it to happen immediately after Friday's show before I left. I'm still expecting it, still waiting. It's like that guy with who's waiting to smack his friend with the handful of whipped cream at the door, and it's day 812.
Just waiting.
But here we are. I think it's going to happen. He keeps coming out on the field to talk to Buddy Baker and sign autographs at camp. And that is certainly an interesting move to me.
Buddy Baker being there, Baker being Terry McLaurin's agent, is a positive sign. At the very least, it means there are conversations that are happening.
True.
Because there's no need for an agent to be out on the field if there are conversations that are not happening. Now, Terry right now is on the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list, due to an ankle injury. That ankle injury is going to subside as soon as pen hits paper. I'm not a doctor. I feel pretty comfortable firing at the hip when I say the best medicine for an ankle injury that he seems to be walking around fine on is going to be an 8-figure extension. So I'm not worried about any sort of injury with Terry. We know that once that deal is done, he will be out there. It is now just a question of when that deal gets done. It's not an if. We know it will get done. It is a when the deal gets done. I have put a benchmark in my mind, considering that he is there, that this deal will be done by next Friday. Next Friday is the team's first preseason game. I don't expect to see Terry in the first preseason game, but I expect the deal to be done by the first preseason game. Him coming back when he did served two purposes. The first purpose is how should I phrase this? It is dumb to just be throwing money away the way that he was throwing money away. He was getting fined daily. If you take into consideration the fines from the first couple of days that he missed of training camp, which was roughly about $150,000, $200,000, you take into consideration some of the other fines from missing minicamp. You take into consideration losing a workout bonus for not going to minicamp. The guy's lost nearly $1 million between fines and giving money back by not being there. It is dumb to be just wasting that kind of money, especially when you are here, because we know that he was in the Ashburn area. He has a home there. He said that during the Eastern Motors press conference. We saw the photo that went viral last week, at least locally viral last week, although nationally viral too, because I believe Ian Rappaport tweeted about it, that Terry McLaurin was doing yoga in the greater Ashburn area. I enjoy yoga. I'm not paying $50,000 to do that yoga when I could definitely do the yoga at the facility, right? So you're not going to keep giving $50,000 away if you're going to be there. You might as well go stop getting fined, and then we will play friends and say, hey, you're on the PUP list. We know you're not going to be out here until you can get a contract situated. This is business. We got a bunch of guys in the facility, in this organization that understand this part of the business. We'll put you on the PUP list. Just stop getting fined. You can go to meetings. And then importantly, you can go be Terry McLaurin in front of fans. Because do not make any mistake about this. As much as it was to stop getting fined, him coming back on the first day of fans was not a coincidence by any stretch of the imagination. It was, in fact, a great PR move, a rebound, because the Eastern Motors thing I didn't think worked out the way that Terry and his camp thought it was going to work out. But getting up in front of the fans, having them chant your name as you walk out, having Jaden Daniels, while he is on the set of a Sports Center taping, turn around and encourage the fans to continue chanting for Terry McLaurin, while I think it was Hannah Storm that was up there. I think it was Hannah Storm and Jay Harris. I could be wrong. But while the Sports Center anchors were getting distracted by running baseball highlights because Jaden was turning around and yelling for them to chant Terry when he had a live microphone on, you don't do all, like, yeah, you hear that, right?
Terry. Why are you stirring him up, man?
You know why he's stirring him up.
He wants his guy to get paid. He wants his dude to get paid. Any conversation that existed, which I never put any sort of real thought into this, but any conversation that existed of this being something that was going to negatively impact Terry's relationship with his teammates, consider Sunday the squashing of that argument, because Jaden was hyping him up. You saw Bobby Wagner celebrating with Terry McLaurin when Terry was walking onto the field. The team around Terry understands the business element of football. They understand what is going on here. But this was a great public relations move from Terry, because you got that moment of Jaden wanting the fans to chant, of the fans wanting to chant, then signing autographs for another 30 minutes, and then doing the walk and talk, which we will play for you momentarily, with the scrum of reporters. He didn't have anywhere to be, by the way. Like, he very easily could have stopped and done more than like the 90 seconds, the 60 seconds, whatever it was that he did, but he wanted to do the walk and talk. There is something just in the brain where watching a guy stand and do a press availability versus watching a guy walking and doing a press availability, there's something in the brain that makes the walk and talk seem a little bit more important. There's just a little bit of a bigger sense of urgency because he's walking. He has places to be, and the media is just lucky to get a point in, or a conversation, a question in to Terry. So I thought that was a very, very good PR move. He's back out there, or he was back out there today. First day of pads. Fans out there. They get to see Terry. I'm sure, I haven't checked, I'm sure whenever practice ends, he's going to be giving more autographs, and the fans are going to chant his name. The fans that were there yesterday and came back on Monday, the fans that maybe couldn't make it out on Sunday, but were able to make it out on Monday for an early practice. I saw the line, by the way, on a Monday. Man, we went through some hard times, Max. We ain't in hard times now.
We're so back.
You used to be able to just walk right in. You ain't got to worry about parking. You could just waltz right in. You could show up 10 minutes before practice, and you would get front line seats easily. Now you got to get there like an hour and a half before practice starts just to get in and be able to get close to a spot where you can get some autographs.
Which is like 6 a.m.
It's insane. I don't know what I'm not judging. I'm not judging. I don't know what people be doing for work.
Listen,
because like it's a Monday. Like, for us, it's different. This is our job. Like, we got to pay attention to this. If you just like a regular person and you're taking a half day so you can go to camp, you weren't doing that 5 years ago.
No,
things have changed.
It's remarkable.
It's positive.
Every time I think about it, it's unbelievable where we're at now compared to where we were.
Enjoying it, certainly.
Thoroughly.
Buddy Baker being there leads me to believe that conversations are happening, but I don't know that they are happening as imminently as people would like to think, because my guess is that they're not talking every single day.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, the way that a negotiation would work is that you get to the table and you say your piece, the other side says their piece. You either agree, work to some sort of resolution, but effectively when that day ends, you then give yourself at least another day or two to formulate another side of the argument to better your point. It's not like you're doing this every single day. That would get it would get taxing just from a mental standpoint. You just get bored. You're like, all right, it's the same conversations happening on a daily basis. That is incredibly, incredibly tiresome. So I don't think they're doing that. But him being there, I would guess that Buddy Baker does not live here. I don't know where he lives, but I would guess he does not live in the Northern Virginia area. You know, he has clients all over the NFL. He has clients all over the nation in college football. So he probably doesn't live here, which means he is spending time here. I don't know if that's like he is using the company car to get a hotel. Maybe Terry's host him in his guest room. I don't really care where he's staying, but he is here. And these conversations are always going to go better when you are in person versus over the phone or over a Zoom call. So that is positive. But at a certain point, like you are going to get to some sort of impasse of we are expecting this, you are expecting that. And eventually you either have to break your budge or you are just going to come to the conclusion that neither side is going to budge. And what I've been a little frustrated with from our perspective is we have no idea what the holdup is. In that, is it guarantees? Is it the year length of the contract? Is it total value of the contract? Is it average annual value of the contract? We've listened to a bunch of different people who are generally in the know about these sorts of things, and they don't seem to have a lot of answers. Like I've listened to Ian Rappaport give us multiple different answers over the last couple of weeks. Adam Schefter has been relatively quiet on this side. Jeremy Fowler said that they're not anywhere close. John Keim said that there's still a little bit of a ways to go in terms of negotiating, but no one's giving us any sort of details as to what that actually means. Like they're far apart is a very relative term because what is far? We don't have a calculation. It's not like they're far apart means, well, they want $30 million and Washington's giving them 23. We don't know what that is. We've seen some things rumored that that is the case, but not from sources that I would claim to be extensively reputable. So we have no idea what exactly the holdup is and how far away they are apart of coming to a deal. That is a little frustrating because at the very least, if you knew, all right, they're $4 million apart, hypothetically, right? All right, well, how can they get $2 million closer? Because if you're $4 million apart and they get $2 million closer, at a certain point, you're just going to say, all right, we're going to take this deal. Whatever it is, we're going to take the deal. We want Terry to be out there. We want him to play. He's going to get a lot of money. We're going to take the deal. So I just don't know where we're at with that. And that has become very, very frustrating. And now seeing Terry on a regular basis, I am curious. Fans were there today. Fans were there yesterday. Fans are not going to be there all week. Do we still see him out there? Because the media is going to be out there all week. They will be able to watch a little bit of practice. They will be able to report on the pads. And there is actual football stuff that we do want to talk about over the course of the show today. I promise. It's not just going to be 3 hours of the Terry McLaurin contract stuff. But it is the biggest story. It's going to be really fun to see what happens when there are no fans out there. Because it has felt like he has been playing up to the fans. I don't blame him. The fans clearly have his back. But he did not just return on Sunday because he wanted to return on a Sunday. He knew that fans were going to be there, so I can stop getting my pockets burned and I could go get a nice public relations move here. My question is, and this is where I'm going to rely on you guys on the phones at 301-230-0980, 301-230-0980. Did Terry McLaurin come back because he desperately just wanted to be back, or did he come back to swing the narrative back into his favor? Was this more of a PR stunt, or is this because you actually feel like there's progress being made on the contract and that Terry will be in uniform very, very soon?